Hi, we're Owen and Lynn, and in this week's Q&A, we're going to answer 3 questions that we received this week.
First of all, we're going to show how we organize the base camp on the inside.
Second, if I were going to sell an RV, how do I determine what the sales price should be, especially if I've had mods and upgrades?
And someone asked about the basket for Maggie. We just wanted to go over some of the things that we did to make it more comfortable for her to ride in.
But first, an update from the road. Just in case you missed the first couple of episodes, we left our North Carolina mountain home in time to escape actually two of the winter storms that have hit that area. Our first stop was Crooked River, and then we stopped in Tomoka, and then Jonathan Dickinson further south. The question everybody asks is, did you beat the cold weather? Well,
no.
Kind of did.
Yeah, we had a couple of warm days, but
we've had mostly
cold days.
In Jonathan Dickinson, we woke up to frost and frozen water pipes, if that tells you anything. It is better than it was when if we'd stayed at home.
Yeah.
But it wasn't shorts and t-shirt weather for much of the time.
Right now we're staying at the Bahia Honda State Park near Key West. It's not as cold, but it is cooler than normal. But we haven't seen any iguanas falling out of the trees.
If you don't know, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
They're an invasive species down here, like the pythons. In fact, they may be approaching being as famous as the pythons, and people are going around when they freeze and fall out of the trees and picking them up, and I won't even tell you what they do with them. Maybe you should Google that. And now on to the 3 questions that we received this past week. And by the way, I'll put chapter markers in the video along the bottom and in the description if you want to just jump right to a question.
Sandy asked if we would do a walkthrough of our base camp, showing some of the storage ideas that we've had to set ours up to live, long term. So here you go. So one of the comments we got this week was from Sandy, and she was asking us if we would give a tour of our base camp, how we have everything set up and how we use the storage and things like that. So let's get started. So as we walk into the front of the RV, I put the trash can here on the left, which when we're traveling, it goes underneath the sink. We also have a Maggie basket, bunch of hooks. I think these hooks came with it. These hooks came with it, so we didn't add anything there. And as you come in, it's just one big room, but we're going to start over here in the dinette area. And we just basically leave all this set up at the same time. Above here, you've got storage. You can put baskets, and as you can see, we roll up our coats and put them up there. Sometimes it's neat, sometimes it's not. I think Owen has his cameras and stuff in this basket. On my side, this is my side over here, you can see that I've got my big camera here, my hats, and I think my raincoat. We've got a bunch of hooks in the front, which we have our hats in. And then over here is where we do most of our, in the dinette part, we do most of our eating, and Owen does his editing, and we just sit here in the morning drinking our coffee. And we've put baskets up here for his stuff, baskets on this side for my stuff, which, my makeup and everything. So if you look underneath the banquette, I've got these round baskets that I've gotten from Costco. And this is our dirty clothes, and then you can store anything else in there that you want. We've got our drinks on the end, so the stuff on the end is the easiest to get to. So that's how we store that, and that's really come in really handy. It actually holds a lot of stuff. Of course, Maggie's bowl here, and this is a great dog bowl. I mean, we've got all of her food, all of her treats inside the bowl, so that really works out well. It's got 2 cabinets here, and they're really large. And one of the things that I like to use are these little plastic bins, so to keep all your stuff from rolling around and everything. So you can see a bunch of those. See what we eat. We like snacks. Refrigerator is probably a mess, but not very big, and right now it's crammed full of stuff. So there you go. Little bitty refrigerator. I got a bag of ice up there I brought from home. Little bitty microwave, which I have been known to store my bread in there traveling. We move over to the kitchen area. I've got our Vitamins up here in a little basket. I've got our little coffee things right here so I can just grab them, put them in the coffee in the morning. Bread, fruits and vegetables, and then there's a fan over here on the end. Oh yeah, Owen did the little paper towel holder thing here, so one side kind of comes off and, you know, wraps around. You put your paper towel holder up there, and or paper towel in there, and then wrap it around. It's worked out good. I did add these little wooden little crate things and just put our salt and pepper and my tea, honey, things I use every day, my vitamins. And then this is our toothbrush and toothpaste holder because we have to brush our teeth in the kitchen sink. All right, and then we have 3 little holders here. Silverware's here. It's a mess. Our bowls and plates. I got our pans in the back, which is a pain because I do have to move all this stuff out just to get to my pans. And then down there at the bottom is my spices. So this actually comes with an induction cooktop, and it fits right in here, which we hardly ever use it, but it fits down in there. But you can kind of look down in there and see what all we've got down in there too. So, but usually I just keep this hard thing over it, and then that's where my dishes go when they're drying. I do have a dish drain, but I hardly ever use it because this just sits out all the time. And then underneath the sink, I don't have it organized very well, but you can kind of see there's a lot of storage down here. I do keep like soft-sided baskets up here. It's got like hand towels and all my towels and my cleaning supplies, and I do put the trash can back in here. So I'm sure I could organize that a whole lot better. This is Owen's stuff mainly. And it's our chip clip holder, our Tums, and evidently his scope, which I didn't realize that was even there. I didn't check that one out. Yeah, you did. And then we'll go to the bathroom next. And it's just it's just a wet bath. We've added these 2 holders here. This is for shampoo and soap, and then I've just put my face wipes up there. I don't really use this that much because I'm afraid all that's going to like, you have to take it all out, whatever you put in there, because you don't want any of this to get wet if you're taking a shower. I do hang my little bitty broom there. We got bunches of hooks all over here. It does have a, okay, now how do I get back? It's got a clothesline. Oh, okay.
And we do have one other thing in here too, and that's a motion sensor light.
Oh yeah,
so
that works out.
Come in here at night, you don't have to be in the dark. You don't have to go turn the light on.
But it does have a window over here, which I'm not really sure what good that does. But and it has a fan at the top. And then this is the closet for our clothes, and you can see, you know, you can actually put these shelves anywhere you want to. And we have Owen's closet, my closet, and then this, that, and the others down there.
Who's organized the best? That's mine. That's hers. That's ours. Okay.
All right. So that's what that looks like. And then over the bed, Owen puts his stuff over here. And I'm not really sure what any of that stuff is, but that doesn't really matter. But he does have it in baskets, and it looks okay. So the little TV over there that he's pointing to is where Owen puts, you know, his phone at night. He puts his glasses at night, and the remote. We've got little fans over here on both sides. I've got one on my side, which is Maggie's really. And here's my little thing for my phone and my glasses and stuff. So, and then that's the bed. We leave it made up in a full bed all the time. We have a little stool here for Maggie that we keep our shoes in, ottoman. And that's the one we left with all their shoes in it. Our storage underneath, there's my scales. We'll have to back up here. And we have 2 of these. We have one on Owen's side and one on my side. And it holds lots of stuff. So I've got a lot of packing cubes, and it's clothes. That's all my clothes, basically. And then a few things I have in the closet. But that works out really well. And if we had twin beds, we wouldn't be able to utilize that storage. So I think that's about it. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll show you anything in more detail.
Adventure Shark wanted to know more about Maggie's Toto basket. It's a basil weave WP basket, and I'll put a link to it in the description below. But here's how we use it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about how we made the basket perfect for Maggie to be a Toto basket. First of all, it needs to be comfortable for her to ride in, so we put this pipe insulation that I bought at Lowe's, and it's a heavy duty pipe insulation that's made to stay outside in the winter, and it's worked really well. I have it zip tied down here, 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 and here, and here, and I like zip ties, so this zip tied down. I cut a hole in it right here, and we ran a carabiner through here, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Then on the very front of this, I put a little bag that I can use to store my keys and phone or anything else I want to in that. Maggie sits in what used to be the knee pad for a garden knee pad, and I cut it to fit. If you look in here, you'll also see that this is attached to the bike rack with just heavy duty zip ties. And I think this time I have 4. I've had as many as 6 or 7, but 4 works just perfectly for her. And then to keep her in so that she won't, we've forgotten to strap her in several times, but to keep her in, we have a strap. We'll show you when we put her in, but we run it through her harness that goes through this carabiner, goes back around, and then it gets put together here in this little catch. So that's how we keep her in, and that's the basket. I'll put a link to the basket that we use in the description of this video, but it's we've tried a lot of them. This one ends up being the right size for Maggie, and it doesn't get in the way too much for me. And my seat, if you'll see that, my seat is above where the height of the basket, so that means my rear end's not bouncing into the basket either. And you've watched her as we've ridden on this. She'll put her head here, she'll put her head here, and depending on what the view is on whatever side, she'll position herself.
She likes the hanger. The reason why we put the pipe cleaner on there, or pipe insulation thing on there too, is she likes to hang her leg out.
She'll hang a leg over here, and that's really cool. And she likes to lean back, and so this one's made so that it swoops down. It actually is made so it can swoop down in the front, but Maggie likes it better if it swoops down in the back. Hope that helps. If you have any other questions about the basket or the Toto basket situation, just reach out to us in a comment and we'll get back to you about it. So we're at Bahia Honda right now. We're going to go for a ride, and we'll strap Maggie in, and here's how we do it. Like I said, there you go, sweetheart. You love your Toto basket. We just simply go through her handle right here into the carabiner and then back around, and then this is just a normal pull strap, and it keeps her there. She has a little bit of freedom to stand up and move around, but she likes it, don't she? Let's go for a ride. And finally, based upon the question we answered last week about do I sell an RV, do I trade it, or do I do a consignment, Wing Float wanted to know, okay, I'm convinced I want to sell it, but how do I know how to set the right price? Here, I'll talk about that. Another question we received this week was related to the topic we covered last week about, is it easier to trade your RV, to sell your RV, or to put it into consignment? And we answered that question, but this week I had a follow-up question, and that is, okay, it's better to sell it, I totally get that, but how do you know how to set the price for your RV? Well, today I'll spend a few minutes and talk about that. So if I'm going to sell my RV, here's what I would do. I would go to RV Trader and I would look for my exact model, not all the mods I put in, but the exact model that I purchased new. And I would look for the highest price and the lowest price and figure out the average price. And depending on how quickly I wanted to sell it or how much money I wanted to make off of it, that's exactly how I would set the price. Now, usually what we do is we go somewhere between the average price and lowest price, and we start there knowing we can come down to a figure that we're both okay with selling it for. And there was a sub question in there that he was asking as well, and I've done the same thing many times before. It's related to adding mods to your RV. We all try to, but remember I did a video a few weeks ago about the best one for us are temporary mods that I can take off, and there's a reason for that. What we've learned is usually we get very little of the money we put in the mods back when we either sell or trade it. Definitely when we trade it, they don't take that into consideration at all, zero. If you sell it, it's possible that you can get some of that money back, but you're going to have to find the exact buyer that wants that exact setup and knows how much it costs to put it in and is willing to pay for it. So if you have an RV that has a bunch of really cool mods on it, but you're not charging that much more than the average price, well, as you can figure out, it's probably going to sell faster. But if you want to hold out to get all the money you put into putting lithium batteries or a lift kit or something else into it, another stereo or something, actually, it's going to slow down the process of selling it if you want all your money back, because of a couple of reasons. If I'm buying an RV that someone's put lithium in there, I would be concerned if I'm the buyer that, well, did they do it right? Did they use the right gauge of wire? Did they hire somebody to do it? Was it done just like it would have been done at the factory? And in most cases, you know, we don't DIY things the way it was going to be done in the factory. It might be better, but it might be worse. But what you run into when you put that into the equation is, well, you end up with this thing of people having to think about it. And they have to try to decide, is it worth that much money to get a mod? And would I do that mod if I bought this off the lot? Chances are what it's going to do is going to reduce the pool of people that you have that can buy that RV from you, and it's going to slow the process down of how long it's going to take for you to actually sell it and find a satisfied buyer. So let's put that into a real world example. I put the Activa water filter permanently into our RV. Now, when I sell it, will I try to get that $400 or $500 back out of it? No, I won't raise the price of it by $300 I won't make the listing price $300 more when I sell it. What I will do is I will just list it as a feature that's included. Now, if I put $10,000 worth of lithium batteries in there, I may raise the price by $1,000, but I wouldn't do much more than that because I want it to sell quickly and I don't want to have to sit on it for months and months and months. So that's a real world example. That's how I set the price of the RV when we sell it. And I do one more thing. When I'm trying to sell it, I'll watch very closely the first week. If I don't get a lot of people that are saving the listing or a lot of people that are reaching out to ask questions, then I'll start lowering the price almost immediately. Now, you guys, some of you are probably 10 times better at selling things like that and used cars and everything else than I am. But when I'm trying to sell an RV, usually for us, we've already bought something else. And I don't want to have two. I don't want to have to pay insurance for two. I don't want to have to pay taxes for two. So you see what I mean? I'm trying to get rid of it. And every month you have to pay for the insurance and you have to cover the sales and property tax for it. And if you borrowed money, the interest and the payments, well, that's just eating into your profit. So I lean towards reducing the price if I don't get a lot of activity. And that's just how I do it. You may do it differently, and if you do, let us know down in the comments what's worked for you. We've had 10 RVs. I've sold 6 of them, and that's the method I've used to determine the price and to sell it on rvtrader.com. Hope it helps.
Well, that's about all the time we have for questions this week. We'll pop in next week and give you an update on where we are and answer some more questions.
If you want to have any of your questions answered, just leave it in the comments below and we'll add it to the list. And as one of our viewers says, we'll see you soon. Be safe, be kind, and be warm.